Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. Over the last little while, I've been taking my little mini workbench here onto various job sites and, well, for all intents and purposes, just putting it through its paces, seeing if it is something I want to continue working with. Because it is another piece of equipment that I need to haul around, and I do have limited space in my vehicle, so it actually has to perform a viable function, first off, and also it has to be something that makes my work a lot simpler. So far, it's been living up to that. I'm very happy with it. It is much more professional, let's say, to lay out work on this and to hold things and do assembly work and that sort of thing. And also, of course, to cut something on it instead of just propping it up against my toolbox or whatever I have handy and using that instead. So, yeah, like I said, I'm very happy with it. So it's time to, well, make some accessories for this. I want to, first off, make a couple of bench docks. I need a couple of things to hold stuff down while I'm working on it. It is, again, more professional to have a couple of bench dogs doing the holding down instead of just propping my knee up against it or whatever else. So I'm going to make something that's, first off, simple, durable, and the most important thing, of course, is it needs to be easy to use. I don't want to spend extra time doing hold down when how easy it is to use your knee. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take the piece of 2x4 and a 1-inch piece of dowel, and I'm going to lay out just some blocky hold downs. I'm going to cut a little circle here, just using a roll of tape and a couple of nicks on it so they're relatively symmetrical. And that's all there is to it. You just need a bit of torque. So one end's going to hold where the dowel's going to go, and the other is just the piece that's going to prop up against whatever the work is, and it is banging down in place. I mean, this is as simple as a bench dog can get because, well, first off, I'm really hard on things, and I want to make sure it's robust and can take some abuse. And secondly, before I get too fancy with this, I want to make sure that it's something I really want, something that is going to make work simpler. That's always been my goal in this channel, make things that are A, fairly easy to put together and nothing too difficult, and B, I want them to serve a function, something that is going to make whatever else I'm going to be making easier, like when I'm making templates and that sort of thing. And I think these sorts of devices are very simple. They work on a very simple principle, and I think it's going to work quite well. And of course, the other thing that I like when I make things is that they're durable, so I don't have to remake it because I chose either cheap materials or didn't quite get it quite right. They weren't quite sturdy enough. And then again, I think this is going to be quite fine. I mean, this is like I said, rather robust materials, and I think everything's going to work quite well in this case. So there we go. That is the block for that. All I'm going to do now is turn down this 1-inch. It is I could pound this into place, but obviously you don't want that. You want it just to slide in properly. Just a little bit of free space so that there's not too much wiggle room, but something that you don't have to force into place at all. Primarily because it needs to be easy to use, but also secondarily because as these things get dirty and banged up, you don't want to burr in it or plaster or whatever else I get in the holes, making it more difficult to use. So I'm taking out, you can see, very, very little here. And then it's going to sand it just to make it look a little nice. Again, this is just really quick to make. If I wasn't filming this, I could have made both these in under half an hour. So, like I said, this is my ideal kind of project, something that I can do and have time for, and something that's going to, as I said earlier, make things easier. So there you go. That's all I need to do here. This is just nice and smooth now. And what I'm going to do here is just test fit it into where it's going to go, which is these holes. And there you go. Slides in nice and easily. A little bit of wiggle room there, which is what I want. And the next step, of course, is to drill the caps so that they can fit on the top of that dowel. So one thing I did off camera is, of course, I cut those dowels so that they're proper length. And also I had to turn down the top part that fits into this hole because I want them to be, friction fit. I could have done this obviously with wood glue or whatever, but I wanted just to tap it in and make it nice and secure without having to do an extra step. So it was just easy to choose a drill bit that was just a little undersized from the 1-inch dowel, and then just turn them down ever so slightly I think it was a 32nd of an inch that I took off and made it nice and snug, and I can tap them into place. That's basically all that's left here. Just a matter of drilling these holes. Now, when I originally set this up, I was thinking I'd just drill all the way through. That's why there's that piece of 3/4 inch plywood there. And of course, it's always nice to make sure I protect my vise and the drill bit. But I decided in the end to not go all the way through. I went, most of the way through. As you're going to see here, it's going to go down quite some ways. It's just going to make it, a little bit more nice in the sense that it's not going to have that extra bit of dowel sticking through. And also, of course, it's a bit of a weak spot, I think, for when I'm pounding on the top of this. If it's only being held in place by glue, there's going to obviously be a ridge of wood there, which is also going to hold it in place. So like I said, nice friction fit, and if that in time becomes a bit loose, I can always end up gluing it. So there you go. And of course, the other thing I always do off camera is I am going to sand these down. So what I'm going to do here now is put this back in one more time and bring it all the way down because I want it to be the same, and I'm going to set the depth stop here so I drill them out to be exactly the same. Again, no real reason to do this other than the fact that it just makes it look symmetrical, and that's the only real reason at all to do that. So there you go. Like I said, these are very easy to make. And as with all the things that I make, at some point in time I'll give you an update on, well, first off, whether or not I like them, how well they performed, and if there's any sort of variations or modifications I need to make to them. I do plan on putting together a video, hopefully in the near future, for, well, a bunch of stuff that I made, and tell you which ones that I still use, and which ones sort of were interesting projects, but then kind of just got forgotten and I don't really use anymore, because that's kind of important. I want to keep you guys up to date on all that sort of stuff. There you go, sanded down, didn't take long. You can see it needs a little bit more sanding, but again, these are just quick ones to put together to see if I like the way they work. And you can see there's a little ridge there, and this is a nice tight fit, and I'm going to tap these into place. And yeah, there you go. That's all there is to that. I don't need any glue for sure. And the next thing we're going to do is put a piece of wood on here and see if they hold things down properly. Again, I mean, it's like very, very simple principle here that these things work on. I just want to make sure that it is something that is going to be easy to use. There you go. Drop in nicely. Put them in any of the holes, of course. And now I'll just take a piece of wood, just a piece of wood I had around the shop. It's roughly the shape of things that I do. I do a lot of baseboards, that sort of thing as well, molding, and it's nice to be able to hold those into place. And there you go, just drop that there. Put the other one on the other side. Give them both a quick tap. And there you go. That's it. And then, yeah. I mean, it doesn't need to be that secure, and this is very secure. The other thing, of course, is after I've done the cut or whatever, how easy is this to get back out? And as you can see, it is very quick and simple, and that's all it needs to be. There you go. Let me know what you think about this. Obviously, these are easy, but if you want to see other sorts of projects, leave comments. Let me know about what you think about all that sort of stuff, and I'll see you in the next video, and bye for now.